I'd like to call to order this Records and Public Safety meeting and Finance and Audit Budget meeting. First item on is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd please stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda, and I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, seconded by Commissioner Nard. Any changes or corrections? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion, oh, did yours not come up? Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Item 4 is public participation. That's 3 minutes maximum per speaker. It's related to any issues on the agenda. This is the first opportunity for public participation. It's for those who wish to speak for that maximum of 3 minutes on any item on today's agenda. There will be a second opportunity for public participation, and that's for those who wish to speak on any issue. So I ask, is there anybody in the public who would like to participate in public participation? Going once, twice, 3 times. I will close public participation. I'm going to move to item number 5, which is a budget amendment, Circuit Court Fiscal Grant Fund, increasing in funding $53,500. We have Jean Cloud, our Deputy Court Administrator. I need a motion to recommend this to full board.
So,
Support, Perna.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gratz, supported by Commissioner Perna. Ms. Cloud, where'd she go?
I'm right here. Hi.
Hi. Come on down.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to talk a little bit about the grant we received from the State Court Administrative Office. We received $53,500 to enhance our self-help center. Right now, we have an unstaffed self-help center that's in the old administration building on the 13th floor. We are getting funding to upgrade that to hire 2 part-time staff members, as well as provide new equipment and new computers. What this is going to offer to in-pro per litigants, excuse me, is the opportunity for them to come and get assistance in e-filing their documents, assistance in looking at forms, filling out forms, and being able to litigate their cases without the headache of navigating a system that isn't much help. So we're pretty excited about it. We have on board, we've had meetings with all of our different departments, the clerk's office, the front of the court, probate court, we have circuit court, and everybody's participating in providing a little bit of input and the opportunity to get the center together. I have secured a space in the circuit court building on the 3rd floor. It's an old hearing room. We've cleared out the furniture. We're getting some used furniture from the warehouse to put in there to set up all the different workstations. We're going to have e-filing stations there so that everyone that needs to come in and e-file their documents, they're going to have the opportunity to do that. So it's going to be kind of a one-stop shop for all in-pro pers, and this will stop the old, oh no, you have to go to the front of the court. Oh no, now you have to go to the clerk's office. They're going to be able to get the assistance they need all in one spot. So I think it's going to be a really good, successful, well, we're hoping it to be a successful venture for the court.
Thank you. We have a commissioner who has a question here. Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. Will these part-time people be there 100% of the time that the court's actually open?
That's a good question. We're still working out the actual hours. We've actually spoken to a few different counties that already have up and running self-help centers. And what they did was start out with the most kind of popular hours of like 10 to 3:30. So the initial thought is to have 10 to 3:30 to expand that out to 8 to 4:30 for court hours. Because what we're finding when we've talked to all the different departments, they're not really getting a lot of flow of traffic with that until like after morning court's over, and then up till about 3:30, and then nobody else is coming in. So We're hoping to start with that and then expand out.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome, Commissioner. I see no other speakers. We have a motion and support. Please vote.
It looks like it didn't pop up for Haw. Yes, Romano and Sabatini, if you'd like to voice vote.
Mine's a yes vote.
Thank you. Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5B is a purchase, Pillar Designs video conference booths for court appearances, $40,450. We have Ms. Caskey, who's Director of Community Corrections, and Lori Mish, who's a captain. I need a motion to move this to full board.
Motion to recommend to full board.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Grote and Commissioner Van Sickle support. Who's coming? Ooh, okay, Lauren. Go ahead, you're up.
Smiling. Good afternoon, Chair, Board. Good afternoon. Before you, we have a proposal to purchase 5 pillar booths. They're video conferencing booths that are self-contained. They have video conferencing equipment inside of them, and the purpose is to have people video conference with other courts in order to clear up warrants or holds. We have a lot of inmates in our facility who have a lot of holds and warrants out of county, and this way we can help get those people in front of those judges so that we can get them either out to treatment or other availabilities. Funding is coming from the opioid settlement fund, which is why Ms. Caskey is here with me.
Thank you. Chair Brown.
Thank you. Don't we have a courtroom set up for the judges that have video equipment in them that can communicate with other courts?
That is correct. We have a lot, actually. We have currently in the facility itself, they're called Polycom units, and those Polycom units are in every court and police department. We currently have 12 booths that are down in our gym area, as well as 2 on every floor up through the tower, an additional 3 behind our jail office, and this would be 5 more. Last year, we had approximately 16,000 video conferencing calls throughout the jail, so we are looking to expand the amount of booths that we have.
So you don't have enough capacity is what the problem is.
We're looking to expand what we currently have, that's correct.
There's a lot of activity going on in that. I mean, that's a lot.
That is a
I mean,
lot.
can't you just like run them through? How long does it take per session when they come in there how long does it take to do what they got to do to communicate what they need to communicate to the other courts?
Well, it depends. If everybody is ready to go, some hearings can be done within a matter of minutes. However, sometimes if we're waiting for other people to show up, a lot of courts are done in a Zoom, and there are several people that we sometimes wait for, so it can be anywhere from a couple minutes to a couple of hours.
Okay. I'm not familiar with the volume there, so you need them. I take your word for it. I'll support it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Commissioner. Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think my question is for Barb on the overarching opioid dollars. So if we do approve these dollars for this, what will we have left for the year, and what is planned for the dollars that are left going forward this year?
There's, as part of the opioid presentation, I don't know if did you want like each particular program, or are we talking overall dollar amounts?
Just overall dollar amounts.
Okay, what we're looking at is probably spending out about 1.5 million, which is considerably less than what we thought we would, because we're still in the process of getting a lot of those programs up and going. Okay. But we're making lots of progress.
So so for this year, what's the plan in terms of programs and spending those dollars for this year? What do you see between now and the end of the year? Where are we heading?
That's what sorry, I should have mentioned that. For the total of this year, we're looking at 1.5.
Okay.
So this would be a small increase to that. And that's still budgeted within what we had presented as part of the technology piece.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Seeing no other speakers, I have a motion in support. Please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. Item 6 is a contract with Atos, Public Safety LLC, County 911 Network Provider for $9,146,921. And we have our dispatch director, Angela Elsey here. I need a motion, move this to full board, please.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hall, supported by Commissioner Nard. Ms. Elsey.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi. In July of 2023, after a year and a half of preparation, we released an RFP for Next Generation Core Services and Emergency Services Internet Protocol Network Provider. In simplistic terms, a new 911 network provider. And so I am here today to request approval of this critical contract with our selected vendor, which is Atos Public Safety. This contract ensures that Macomb County's 911 infrastructure is upgraded and modernized, focused on enhancing our service and providing the best public safety in our communities. In December of 21, this board approved the professional services contract with Mission Critical Partners for a communication consultant, specifically to lead us in our next generation 911 system selection, development, and implementation. The nature, scope, size, and technical expertise and time involved in a project of this size and in a county of this size was in need of a consultant to ensure proper planning. So since January of 2022, myself and a team of others in the county have been working with our consultant, David Lucas from Mission Critical, who is here today to support as well, specifically to help lead us through this and get us to this point here today. So over the last few years, the other counties across the state and country, for that matter, have migrated to a fiber optic telecommunications-based network. And this is specifically to provide for a next generation functionality. This type of system provides better network reliability and security, data integration, so specifically where you've heard me talk a lot about the ability to accept multimedia messages, live streaming, building floor plans, text messages, and analytics that support emergency response and also have a robust interagency sharing and resiliency. So our current 911 network in this county is an outdated copper wire technology. This is infrastructure from the 1960s, designed to be capable of carrying voice calls only, with limited data, such as the caller's landline address. This network has been retrofitted over years to accommodate newer forms of communication, such as wireless device location, but the core network and its inherent limitations remain unchanged, and the ability to identify the location of wireless callers is marginal. The network no longer meets the needs of communications in the 21st century. This limits functionality and accuracy, especially with the rise of connected devices. So your connected vehicles, smartwatches, anything that can communicate with a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connection can just about communicate with 911 now. And we have to have the ability to communicate back. So we conducted a thorough evaluation of next-gen core services providers, and Atos emerged as the clear frontrunner, most qualified to address our challenges and offers numerous advantages. They have a proven track record with other government entities, which certainly inspires confidence in us. Atos was selected as the primary next-gen core service provider for the entire state of California, connecting 453 dispatch centers. And we have just over 125 here in Michigan, so it's a much larger scope. They also were challenged with interfacing other regional EZNets, so multiple providers, and making sure that there was interconnectivity between them. And globally, they have entire country deployments. They have unmatched technical expertise with over 100,000 employees, and the company has 40 years of experience designing and developing public safety projects and initiatives. They have an incredible commitment to security, with a layered approach that includes encryption, firewalls, 24/7, 365 network monitoring with their network and security operations centers located in the United States. Their cloud-based design guarantees service continuity during emergencies with incredible scalability and redundancy. Uninterrupted 911 service is critical. And so this is designed to support over 50,000 calls per hour, which we should never reach in Macomb County, but we could and continue to stay up and running. The location and design of their core sites was another significant advantage. Their data centers are designed to withstand even the most extreme weather events and man-made disasters, and are in geographically diverse locations of the country, which offered us an additional layer of security and service continuity. They also provide us with a comprehensive dashboard that offers real-time insights into next-generation 911 operations. So this will allow us to have visibility and centralized monitoring of our network activity, connectivity, availability, and call routing activity. This transparency empowers us to be more proactive in making decisions and address any issues that may potentially be happening. Regarding the funding, Michigan's 911 statute mandates that counties maintain a 911 plan under the Board of Commissioners oversight. That includes financial considerations. Thankfully, under the Emergency Services 911 Enabling Act, Michigan assesses a state surcharge of 25 cents per device. This is collected by service providers and deposited into a dedicated emergency 911 fund. The Michigan 911 Public Service Commission then reimburses local exchange providers who invoice for 911 services from this fund at their approved tariff rate. This ensures that our transition to next generation 911 is achieved without a financial burden on Macomb County. This is the same process for the network as it has been for many, many years for the network costs. Our current provider submits their tariff to MPSC, and once approved, Department of Treasury pays the vendor. So the state is not giving us money to pay our vendor. We do not pay our vendor directly. However, we have local control as a county to select the vendor that best suits our needs. So the state doesn't mandate who our vendor is, but with the state surcharge, we are fortunate that the network is funded through that arrangement as outlined in the statute. The state fee of 25 cents is in effect until December 31st of 2027, again, as defined in the statute, and this was raised from 19 cents in 2018, could potentially raise again with future legislation, but the point of that is that this is how 911 networks are funded. So it's not an exchange of money through the county. So with the proposed contract with Atos, we are really embracing a future where emergency response is absolutely our #1 priority. Our capabilities are elevated, and this is the most cutting edge technology, excuse me, a robust infrastructure, and certainly a need. So I'll take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Elsie. As always, Director, complete, concise, detailed, very thorough.
Thank you.
We have some questions.
Sure.
Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Angela. I think you answered my question. Looking at the bid structure, Atos,
but yes,
was not the low bidder, but
Correct.
you identified a whole list of criteria for which you thought it made it more compatible than the other low bidder. So you preferred Atos
Correct.
based on your experience and knowledge of the requirements for the system over the low bidder. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Great. Second question, with the disaster that took place in Clinton Township, it said the 911 system in Clinton Township overloaded and was transferred to, I believe, Warren. I thought those transfers went to Comtech.
So the impact that we experienced was somewhat misrepresented. However, we handle all of the 911 calls for Clinton Township. We are the primary service provider for the Township of Clinton, so anyone in the township that places a 911 call, wireless or landline, will come to Comtech. We have to have backup arrangements in place if our service or our ability to provide a service is impacted in any way. And that first line of reroute for 911 calls is the city of Warren. We had an equipment issue. There was never a delay in service delivery of 911. The network maintained itself and continued to deliver calls, but we manually forced them to go to Warren because of our equipment issue, which would have delayed our ability to answer them efficiently for just a short period of time.
So the media reported it incorrectly when they said Clinton Township instead of contact went to Warren.
Well, what I was referring to as incorrectly is initially I saw 911 outage. There was never an outage. If anyone needed 911, 911 was available and reachable, and all calls were being delivered. So, yeah, I didn't see that specific piece, but yes,
Well,
that would
as
have been
our
correct too.
chairperson said, thank you very much for a very complete report. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You said that the Atos system is cloud-based. Is that both their storage and their applications?
That is a great question. If you don't mind, I'll invite David Lucas up here to clarify for me. He's our consultant with Mission Critical.
Thank you. Good to see all of you again. The answer is directly yes. This data is stored in the cloud, and the applications are in the data centers that she referred to. So both of those will be redundant and reliant elsewhere, not actually stored here on site.
Okay, you said the applications at the data center.
But at a data center,
At
not
a data
necessarily
center.
the same data center as the data.
And they have multiples.
Yes.
So that would cover their disaster recovery plan.
Yes, they had one of the most disaster recovery plans of all the ones that provided bids. Yes,
And as far as the data, that's redundant also, that's backed up someplace?
that is correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Angela, timing question.
Yes.
With the plan to be putting this on in the millage at the end of the year, why is this coming to us now instead of maybe, January or February of next year when we know for a fact if the millage is going to pass or anything like that? Instead of, getting an extension till the end of the year, because this is a 5-year contract we're walking into for us and the locals. And if, how I am, if disaster strikes and the millage doesn't pass,
Yep.
how do we pay for it? So I guess I just have a question about the timing of this.
Sure. So, two-part answer, if you don't mind. So to clarify, we are not funding this. So everyone if you're a resident in the state of Michigan, you are assessed a 25-cent surcharge on your cell phone. And that surcharge is remitted directly from the providers to the Department of Treasury.
So I'll jump in real quick because
Yeah.
you mentioned that earlier. So this is separate from what the millage would capture.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Timing wise, because we've been working on this for 2.5 years and it's just when it
Okay.
when it worked out finally.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
One last thing. I have to give a shout out to Angela. I had a meeting with some of my locals on Friday morning, and Chesterfield is a PSAP. We are a dispatch center, and they peppered me with some questions about the E911 funding that I didn't have answers to. So I turned to our resident expert about, early morning, and she had answers for me early afternoon. So only a couple hours later. So if anybody comes to you commissioners with questions about that, she is the resident expert and she gets back to you quickly. So Angela, I thank you so much for that.
You're
Thank you,
welcome. Happy
Mr.
to help.
Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I myself, we had questions and Angela answered them for me totally. In fact, started this last week sometime, finished up this morning, and I just want to give a shout out. I know she had some procedures here that she had to attend to. She cut those short to be in front of us, but I appreciate it. Nice tan.
Thanks.
Commissioner Sabatini.
Commissioner Romano always has the comments. Angela. All my questions have actually been answered. Just one question though I did have in regards to what we currently have. So this is an upgrade, obviously, right? What's our cost right now with our current platform compared to this platform?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that because I did not know that until today. So
Okay.
I did some digging. So currently our current vendor, which remember, it's copper infrastructure from the 60s. It's not capable of doing nearly what the new network is now. And it is on average $4,500 a month. This is on average about $124,000 a month, but incredibly comparable to all of our neighboring counties and population sizes. So it comes out to about 14 cents per population in Macomb County, and that's in alignment with Oakland County, Wayne County, and the other larger counties in the state, what those next generation core service providers are charging against the fund.
And how long have we had the current provider?
Since we went live with 911 in 1986. Well, not the current provider, I'm sorry, the current infrastructure. We changed providers probably, I believe, 2005. I'd have to look at the 911 plan, but 04 or 05. Yeah.
Okay. I had another question, but it's gone.
What's that?
Thank you,
Commissioner.
Angela.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chair.
Seeing no other speakers, I have a move to full board and support. Please vote. Great presentation, Ange. What are you doing? I didn't take it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Our votes, yes.
yes. Any noes? There's no noes.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. I will now turn the meeting over to my esteemed commissioner, Commissioner Sabatini, for Finance, Audit, and Budget Committee. Commissioner Sabatini.
All right, next item is 7A. This is purchase of Pitney Bowes, a postage meter mail equipment and services lease for $43,653.60. I need a motion to recommend this to full board.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Van Sickles, supported by Commissioner Lucido. Mark, is Mark here to talk about this?
Good afternoon. Good to see everybody again. What we're talking about here is a like-for-like replacement of the current Pitney Bowes postage machine in the mailroom servicing the county. It's at the end of its 4-year lease and its life based on expected use of 2.4 million letters over the life. We average a little over 600,000 a year. Nominal increase in price. It's based off of state of Michigan contract agreement with Pitney Bowes, who's been our provider since 2008 or even further back, but records through 2008. Just looking to keep the mailroom running without incident. Nothing fancy. It's the biggest machine they make. Some minor improvements, but it's basically a new version, ready to handle new workload.
Thank you, Mark. Seeing no questions,
Should
please
we
vote.
vote now?
Gonna work for me.
Won't work for me. Yes.
Yes.
I guess the question would be, is there any noes?
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you, Mark. Next is 7B, contract with Synergy Consulting Engineers for Central Intake and Assessment Center Project Commissioning Agents, $243,335. Need a motion to recommend to full board.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Romano, supported by Commissioner Ha. Ben, good afternoon.
How you doing? Good afternoon, Commissioners. Item 7B is a contract with Synergy Consulting Engineers Incorporated. This is for the Central Intake Assessment Center Project Commissioning Agents. The objective of commissioning is to provide documented confirmation that the facility fulfills the functional and performance requirements of the building owner, occupants, and operators. The commissioning agent will be involved with the project from design through warranty phase. The primary role of the commissioning agent during the overall design phase is to develop detailed commissioning specifications and review the design to ensure it meets the owner's objectives. During the construction phase, the commissioning agent develops and coordinates the execution of a testing plan, which includes observing and documenting systems performance to ensure the systems are functioning in accordance with the owner's design intent and requirements. These commissioning agents basically bridge the process between design and construction. I'm asking for the contract an amount of $243,375, and it is covered in the overall budget of the Central Intake and Assessment Center project.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Any questions? Get off easy. No question.
I brought backup too,
I see that.
but I always do.
See that. I just have one quick question. In regards to your bid tab, obviously it looks like you had 4 bids,
Yep,
and this bid was somewhat in the middle.
yep.
Why such a huge discrepancy in regards to the highest bidder in this bid? I mean, it's like
So
3 times the amount.
we spent, we did actually 2 post-bid interviews with three firms, and we did one with the other. The 3 firms we did 2 post-bid interviews with, they were pretty much dedicated commissioning agents and commissioning engineers. The other organization, their primary function is just standard engineers. We've used them in the past. And this was just kind of like a thing they're dabbling into. So we really weren't comfortable that they were going to be able to dedicate the time to this project, as it's not their primary business, I would say, from what we understood. So that's where we ended up doing the 3 post bids with the 3 other organizations. So we just felt the scope wasn't entirely covered, or they just didn't understand the entire scope.
Got it. Okay. Seeing no other additional questions, please vote. Thank you, Ben.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Evan.
Chair Brown and Commissioner Ha, I'm missing votes for you. If you'd like to voice vote, I can add it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Haven't made up my mind yet. Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, next item is 7C and 7D, budget amendment for information technology, Everstream fiber relocation for the Central Intake and Assessment Center in the amount of $270 and $270,215.
We'd like the first number.
I did. And I'll take a motion on 7C and 7D to recommend these to full board.
So moved, Paul.
Support, Lucido.
By Commissioner Ha, supported by Commissioner Lucido. Jaco, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is the first of our central intake items we're bringing forth. In preparation for the central intake project, we are moving our data center, which is currently in the jail or housed in the jail. We're moving the data center to the powerhouse. That's just across the parking lot from the backside of the jail. And for that reason, we have to reroute the fiber that come into the jail. And it's going around the building, down the road into the new building. And we also have to add fiber from the powerhouse back to the jail so that it is part of the whole fiber ring. So that is what we're asking for. The vendor we using, Everstream, we've used Everstream for a long time. It's a consortium in Macomb County by the MISD. And, they know our fiber, our environment very well. So we're asking for the $270,000. The money is in the CIAC project. And I'm here for any questions.
Thank you, Jaco. Commissioner Brown.
Moving into the other building, is that building secure? That powerhouse has been there for a while too. Is it, what is your comfort level with, obviously you're comfortable you're moving it there, but what's the condition of that building? Do we need to do any work on that building?
Actually, very good. Ben can speak more to that, but we did a walkthrough with Ben. And, for our purposes, the building is, excellent.
Adequate?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought I skated by with my item, but, so the powerhouse was renovated, I don't know the specific date, right before COVID. It's an all brick building, and it's got bollards and all sorts of protection, as that is the power source for that entire service center. So I would say it's in very good shape, it's very clean. It is not accessed by people on a regular basis, so it's a very secure facility with badge access, things like that. So it is a standalone facility that has all our power for the service center. So it's in good shape.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Van Sickle?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Jaco.
Good afternoon.
Is the powerhouse still being used as a powerhouse?
Yes.
And what kind of power does it provide?
Steam.
How much power or what kind?
Or what kind? Is
So
it like
the
steam boilers or?
No, the powerhouse is fed through DT. It's underground power wire. It is fed through a switch gear that's over on Dunham Road, so it's got a dual feed that goes to that powerhouse. And then from the powerhouse, it spiders out to the other buildings in the service center. So each
Okay.
of them have their own independent feeds.
So they're not actually generating,
No, it's not a traditional powerhouse like a steam, it's just, it houses all of our switch gear and electrical equipment to distribute the electrical throughout the service center.
where I'm sort of going to is the chance of an explosion which would wipe out our backup data center.
I guess there's always a chance. Part of moving it into the powerhouse is building a separate area within the powerhouse for that structure and doing some electrical testing to make sure that there's no interference with I believe it's a EMR, so what the interference is. So I'm getting good at that. But yeah, so there is some electrical testing that'll happen and it'll be in its own separate room within the powerhouse.
So are we going to possibly do some magnetic shielding between?
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And how far back will the fibers go that you're running over to this? I mean, is it going to connect onto the fibers in the existing jail area and run them over
It's-
or go
it's
back
gonna-
to their connection point?
It's gonna connect back to the existing jail. It's also gonna connect to the new CIAC center. And if you can draw a map in your mind going around the north side of the jail, coming around that road, right next to the jail, it comes straight down to the powerhouse. That's how the feed's gonna go.
Okay, I can't quite visualize that. Will they go anywhere near, will the new cables go anywhere near the, where the intake center's going?
Oh, yeah, the west of it, on the west side of the intake center. There's a road coming down there.
Well, okay, but it won't go exactly where the new intake center's going.
Outside of the site.
And will the new intake center go across where the existing cables, fiber cables come into are there any cables that go through where the new intake center is being,
Yes,
are any of those fiber and will they have to be rerouted later?
that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We are rerouting the fiber, so it's not in the way. There's demolition that's gonna take place on the northern or northwestern side of the jail. It is to make sure that where that fiber comes in, that it's routed all the way around to the power center. And the new fiber we're gonna run back to the jail as well as to this intake center, those are gonna be ran where it doesn't interfere with the construction.
I just wanna
So
make
it's in
sure we don't-
preparation.
I just want to make sure we don't dig up any of the new stuff
Absolutely,
because the construction site goes out beyond the building, the actual building
absolutely.
footprint. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Seeing no other questions on this item, please vote. We're going to go old school here, so all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jaco. All right, next item is Correspondence, Central Intake and Assessment Center update for March 2024. Need a motion to receive and file.
Motion received and filed.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Grote, supported by Commissioner Haw. Does anyone want to speak on the update? No? Okay. We're just receiving and filing. Any questions, Commissioners? Seeing none, please vote by saying
Aye.
Aye.
aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. It's been a while since I've done that. Next is public participation. This is the opportunity for public participation for those who would like to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any issue. Anyone from the public like to speak? Any issue? Going once? Twice? We'll close public participation. Next is commissioner comments. Any comments, commissioners? Seeing none?
Motion to adjourn.
Made by Commissioner Romano.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Nard. Everyone please vote.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
See you in church.
All right, meeting's over. Thank you, Commissioners.